Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Susie.
Shabbat Shalom, Jimmy. I had all these papers and I lost them.
We know the prayers.
Yeah, I just was going to do I had all the lists and everything.
I'm going to sing a song.
Welcome, everyone, to Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I see Leslie. Leslie, hard to light the candles without you, but here we go. So I want everyone to think about the light that they would like to bring in to the world. I think everyone's been working hard to bring their own light in this week in all the different ways that we have been responding to the brutal death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, whose birthday is today, and Ahmaud Arbery, and of course all the others. And they've asked us to wear orange today to dedicate this Shabbat to eradicating gun violence, to passing common sense gun laws. And so I hope that this Shabbat gives us the time that we need to renew our souls, so that when we return to the work of tikkun, the work of repair, we are ready to shine the light on everything that needs to be seen, and also use the light to inspire us. Just a few trays. So I invite everyone to light their candles or just take some light inside so that we can be filled with that light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone. We begin by inviting angels to come and bless us with Shabbat peace. The words of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharim, Malachi Elyon, Malachi Harachamim, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ruchem l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Malachi Harachamim, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Malachi Harachamim, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzitechem l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Malachi Harachamim, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Here. I notice that Jill Hollefeld is with us, and I heard today that her mother, Gail, went into hospice in Maine, and I know when you're here and she's there, it has to be difficult. So we're going to hold you in our hearts and hold her and include her in our healing prayers. So I'm glad you're with us. And L'Chadodi, right? Our love song.
חדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, חדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת קבלה לחדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת קבלה, חדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיע יואל המיוחד, אדוני אחד, שמו אחד, שם לתפארת ולתחילה, חדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, חדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש קדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, חדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, חדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת קבלה. התעוררי, כי בעורך קומי, אורי, שיר דברי, גבוה אדוני אלייך ניגע, חדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. That's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah. חדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצלחולה, תוכנו נעם סגולה. בואי חלה, חדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, וחדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת קבלה. חדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, וחדותי לקראת קלה, בני שבת The shirt almost caught on fire there.
Really?
Yeah, that would have been an interesting visual. That'd be a Shabbos you remember.
I hope everyone's ready now
The rabbi
to
went
call
up
it.
and smoked.
I hope everyone's ready now to call each other to prayer with the words of the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Bo'ed HaMevorach Le'olam. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
We send a little love back with the words of the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'otecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech ושופך וקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בעיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם. What does it mean to be people of God? What does it mean to walk in God's light? Well, I think a lot of people are marching. A lot of people are marching, and you know, I was asked to give over a talk to rabbis across the country this week. They asked me to talk about the Torah of Ferguson. And you know, I thought about it. I remembered all of those texts that we used. And so many of them had to do with the Micha Mocha. So many of them had to do with singing a song for freedom. Ella Baker, who said, until the killing of a black man, a black mother's son, is as important as the killing of a white man, a white mother's son. We who believe in freedom will not rest. And I think about how we left that narrow place behind and how we dared to sing this song of freedom. And you know, one of the Torahs I remember that we kept giving over because it seemed so relevant, as it does today, as more people are marching today in Frontenac, tomorrow in St. Peter's. There's people marching everywhere. I don't know if you saw that young man in O'Fallon who had 2,000 people marching with him. There are marches we're not even hearing about, because I heard about the doctors at WashU today that in their white coats just lined the streets so that they could hold up Black Lives Matter signs. It's everybody. It's grown. So the Torah of Ferguson may have started there, but it continues. And one of the great midrash, one of the great teachings, asks, what was it that shook the knife out of Abraham's hand? It was the marching through the sea. It was this moment in our story when we caused such a tumult with our marching. And, you know, we don't call them peaceful protests. We call them nonviolent protests because, you know, with no justice, there's no peace. But nonviolence is really important because poverty is violence, racism is violence, oppression is violence, inequity in education and healthcare is violence. Everything in structural racism in these oppressive systems is violence. And so we remember one of the very first nonviolent protests when we caused such a tumult, marching through the sea, singing these words, that it shook the knife out of Abraham's hand generations before, reminding us that what we do now can redeem the past, can heal us from the trauma, from the hurt, from the years and years of betrayal that people of color, black and brown people, have felt for so long. So let's sing this song again. Let's sing this song, and let's remember to cause a tumult so that we can too save our children.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך גדול וקודש, נוראתי לו אוסף אלה, מלכותך ובניך, בו קיים לפני משה. זה אלי, זה אלי, זה אלי, זה אלי, זה אלי, זה אלי, זה אלי ענו ויאמרו. אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. ועד ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו. As you redeemed Jacob and saved him from arms that were stronger than his own, so may you redeem all who are oppressed and persecuted. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. With Miriam, Neviah, the prophetess, she took a drum in her hand and we followed her with dancing. With Miriam, she chanted with us, Shiru Adonai, Ki Ga'o Ga'a, Shiru Adonai, Ki Ga'o Ga'a. Shiru Adonai, Ki Ga'o Ga'a. Sus v'rocho Rama vayam, Sus v'rocho Rama vayam, Shiru Adonai, Ki Ga'o Ga'a, Ki Ga'o Ga'a, Ki Ga'o Ga'a. Fros aleinu sukat shalomecha, spread over us the shelter of your peace. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you who spreads the shelter of peace over us and over all people and over Jerusalem, and over Jerusalem, over Jerusalem. V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל היא לעולם עוד היא לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. The children of Israel shall keep the Shabbos, observing it in every generation as a covenant for all time. It is a sign, it is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days the Eternal One made the heavens and the earth, and on the 7th day God rested. Vayi nafash, Vayi nafash, God breathed a soul into creation. Vayi nafash, God breathed a soul into creation. Vayi nafash.
Undo this.
Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi yagid tehilatecha Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi yagid. Oh God, open up my lips, my mouth will declare your praise.
It's our custom on Friday night to take a few moments for the tefillah silently. If you have a Siddur there, and you can download one from our website always, or call us and we'll drop one off. Take a few moments just to look through the prayers that are here, or take a few moments to go inside. Remember that our prayer book was only compiled in the 9th century because the rabbis were so afraid that our prayers would become rote and they would lose their meaning, they would lose their fire. So take a moment and think about what it is that you would add to the tefillah. What is your deepest desire? What are your prayers? These are praise prayers. They are gratitude prayers. They are petition prayers. What prayer would you shout out to the heavens at this time? Take a moment. And once our desires become clear to us, then we figure out how to be co-creators with God and make them happen. So let us dare to sing a prayer for peace.
עשה למען שמך, עשה למען ימינך, עשה למען תורתך, עשה למען קדושתך, למען יחלצו ידידיך, הושיע ימינך v'yaneni. Do it for the sake of your name, do it for the sake of your power, do it for the sake of your holiness, do it for the sake of your Torah, so that your dear ones may be renewed. Save me with your right hand and answer me. Aneni, Aneni, may the words of my mouth, meditations of my heart be acceptable to you. You liratzon imrefi v'hegion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri v'gorali. Ose shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, ve'yimru amen. Yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
So many things have happened since last Shabbat. The protests continue. Conversations, courageous conversations are happening across Zoom and all kinds of safe ways to really figure out how we can move forward in holy ways, And my friend Gail Wexler is here with us. She's in the congregation, and her request through the movement to change how we use guns in this country, and this Shabbat is dedicated to ending gun violence and doing the kinds of things that we need to do that. And that's why we're wearing orange. I know Gail is wearing orange out there. There's a message here actually from Deborah, who's from West Orange, New Jersey. Different kind of orange, but I know West Orange well, and she says she's. I know, I'm sorry, but I just saw she's moving here in early August, and we will really look forward to welcoming you, Deborah. Get in touch with us if you need anything to help find your way. Please be in touch with us as you're preparing to move here. The program that I'm involved with in the city through the Missouri Faith Leadership Council, that's called Safe Space, the Village Safe Space, actually began because of the gun violence last summer and all the children. Remember, we had this horrific number of children that were killed due to gun violence in the city and the region and the city and the county. And it just got to be so overwhelming. People started protesting and screamed and said, we have to do something, right? And so we did. Sorry, thanks. So we created this program called the Village Safe Space, and we worked with 7 not-for-profits to build on relationships that we already had with households. And we created a wonderful program for, it was actually from money from the Department of DSS. I always forget, Department of something and Services, Social Services. And we had this wonderful program going for about a week where kids would come after school from 3 to 10 at night, and they would not just get food, but they would get wraparound services, so grief counseling and trauma counseling, as well as help with academics and, just nurturing and a safe place to be at probably the most risky time for them and their families. And there was free transportation and all kinds of things. We had it all in place. And then, of course, the schools closed. So we had to reinvent ourselves in just a few moments. But it was because of gun violence that we started. And it was because of, people saying enough is enough, just what the protesters are saying today about police brutality and the killing of people by gun violence, especially by the police, that we rose up and created this program that's now, serving hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of households, thousands of people with food and wraparound services in their homes so that people, because of COVID, can stay safe in their homes. And next week, we'll be also doing testing for our families with contact tracing and isolating. But I just wanted to share a little bit of a teaching about the gun violence. And since this is the Shabbat that we are kind of lifting up our consciousness about having that, because that is actually part of the problem. That's okay. So, and then you're going to do your poem, right?
You want me to?
I do. So, one of the things that I was thinking about, I was remembering this week was as more and more people are coming out, and we've never seen this many people come out and this diverse a crowd. And I remember the story that a woman named Elsa Altman spoke about. She was a survivor of the Holocaust. You remember her?
Yeah.
She was just a lovely, lovely lady. And she was a docent at the Holocaust Museum. And I heard her tell her story once. And the story that she always told was that when she was a 9-year-old girl living outside of Berlin in Germany, her father was a physician. He was a doctor and very prominent in their town. Everybody went to him, and he took care of everybody, whether they could pay or not, and everyone loved him. But the Holocaust came, and the Nazis came to her town, and they came for her family. And when they came for the doctor, her father, and the whole family, they marched them out. And she said what she remembers the most when she was 9 years old were her neighbors peeking through the window, through the curtains, just peeking through the curtains. They knew what was happening. They could see, but they did nothing. They just peeked through the curtains. So, in many ways, tragedy has once again parted the curtains for us. But maybe this time, there'll be a change. Because maybe this time we will dare to open a window of opportunity for us to pass new serious gun control measures when the dust settles and we make our demands and we begin to be fed up with the way things are. Cora Faith Walker from St. Louis said, we never want to go back to normal because normal is what got us here. So no more normal. So we have to pray once again that we are today growing a movement of the people that supports all of the changes that we're calling for in policing and law enforcement, to take down the structural racist institutions that keep oppression going. Our friend Jason Purnell from Washington University gave a stunning metaphor in a paper that he wrote recently. He said that he was reading Toni Morrison, and Toni Morrison described the Black community in America as the pot of the melting pot. In other words, the Black community, the inheritors of slavery, were the pot that held the melting pot. And, because they couldn't be part of the melting pot. But he said no. He said as much as he loves Toni Morrison and is really her devotee, he said that he thinks that Black people are the fuel, are the kindling that keep the fire burning underneath the pot. He said, we're not even the pot because people, they take care of their pots. They clean their pots. We're the kindling underneath the pot. We're the fire that keeps the melting pot burning so that more and more can melt. But we know that project, that melting pot, is a failed project. It didn't work then. It's not working now. So we have many things to change. And certainly we need the bold, comprehensive reforms needed to change our culture of gun violence. Another image that I carry with me is an image from Ground Zero. I except for this year, and of course the year of 9/11, for the past 35 years, I've been taking 10th graders to New York City. Jewish New York. It's always fun. But I remember one year after 9/11, I took a group, and it was when the Family Museum was really small and not so sophisticated. And we went in, and there was one exhibit that I think about all the time. It was these two guns that had melted together. They almost looked like hands holding. And the caption was, guns that were confiscated and that melted during the fires. And I kept imagining more and more guns of all sizes and shapes piled high in a great fire, melting together, refashioned and reshaped. And I know that the prophets imagined this long ago as well. And maybe with all that's going on today, all the demands, all of the change that we know has to occur, maybe the time has come to limit and control the guns on our streets, in our communities, and in our homes. The Christian theologian William Sloane Coffin said, as we change the evidence of our time, we will change the reality of our time. And so I'm praying that somehow, with heightened awareness, with people remembering that until Black lives matter, no lives matter, that we will do something about the guns that are killing us, that are killing our people. May this be a time when we turn our guns into plowshares and pruning hooks. May this be a time when the evidence, as he said, shows that if we change the way we do business and that we can lower the deaths from gun violence, the accidents from gun violence, that there are just too many guns. Let us pray for a time when we act out of love and not out of fear. Let us pray for a time when we are bold enough and brave enough to say no to this culture of violence, the violence, of course, of racism that leads to the brutality and poverty that we have today, and have the courage to embrace real non-violence. So watch out, gun lobby, because we're coming for you too. Watch out, all who are using violence to their own advantage, because when we come out from behind our curtains, and we are coming, we are not letting anyone peek through the curtains today. When we finally stand together, all of those who stand on the other side will be defeated. They will be no match for us. And then we will have justice. And then we will have peace. That's all I got.
That's good.
Is that good? So, Gail, I hope we did honor to this Shabbat that we are supposed to be devoted to lifting up the message of, we're not forgetting this one, that we need to have common sense gun laws, that we need to stop being like the Wild West and think that guns keep us safer. We know they just continue to take more lives. So you got a poem? The portion this week is Naso, the priestly blessing.
The priests are blessing. The threefold blessing of the priests. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine toward you and be kind to you. May God's face be lifted up toward you and give you peace. Wait a minute. Somebody noticed. It's a sixfold blessing. The sixfold blessing in three parts. Looky here. 1, bless you. 2, keep you. 3, God's face shine toward you. 4, be gracious to you. 5, God's face lifted up toward you. 6, give you peace. Yeah, that's good. Let's look some more. It ascends in intimacy. God's face shining toward you. See it over there? You can pick up the shining a long way away. You can appreciate it from across the room or across the universe. God's face lifted up toward you. That's relationship, intimacy. God's face right there. I see it moving, lifting up and toward me. That's peace. And what is it about a face in Hebrew that English does not signify? Panim, bifanim, bifnim, inside. Face and inside, face and within. Panim, bifnim. The face in Hebrew has some transparency. Hey, look at that face. There's a soul in there. I see it. What did I learn this week? Our beloveds are like mirrors for us. They reflect our souls. Our beloveds say, look at me. I am seeing you. Here's the gift I'm giving you. This is who you are, the way I see you. I love you. Nothing you can do about it. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thanks. Amen. 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 So our hope is that with a little bit of Torah, our hearts are open. Tonight and tomorrow night are the full moon of Sivan. It should be beautiful. I hope it's clear enough that we can see it. It'll be nice to see that full moon shining on on a nation that is aching for blessing and for justice. So let's offer a healing prayer. Let's offer the Misha Berach. I do have people that have asked us to pray for them. I'd like to read their names. For Finn Naylor and Artie Silverblatt, for Wanda Stutz-Ryan, Debbie Dwyer, Meredith Pritchard, Elaine Thornton, Rick Hack, Gail Rock, Debbie Monfort, I hope she's healing and feeling better, Huey Powell, who received a kidney from a friend, Specialist Evan Richards, Morris Tamsky, Carrie Schulman, Carolyn Harvath, and of course, as we mentioned before, Jill's mother, Gail Hollyfield, who is in hospice in Maine. And healing prayers for Susan Schufrin and Paul Yorty. Thanks, Bobby. And, think about all the people. I'd like to pray for that 75-year-old man in Buffalo that hit his head so badly. For Erica Gartner, Spruce's mother. Oh, she fell. I'm sorry. I hope she heals. Steve Englehart's mother as well, I know, is working hard to heal. I pray for her. And for anybody that you hold in your heart, I know we have a lot of healing to do. Spruce's mother is 98. Wow. And Debbie is so much better. That's good news. And sure, George Floyd's family and all of those who have killed, the families of all of those who have been killed by systemic racism, you don't ever heal from losing somebody like that. You just kind of expand. You make more space.
רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, for the healing of the spirit and the healing of the body, for those we know, for those we don't know, for those we know, for those we don't know. On my right, the angel Michael, on my left, the angel Gabriel, in front of me, the angel Uriel, behind me, the angel Raphael, and above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head, Shechinatel. Michael was like God, Gabriel, God is my strength. Uriel, 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 God is my light. Raphael, God is my healer. And above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head, Shechinati. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, great healer. Amen, amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, God. Help us to heal the sick. Amen.
Amen.
Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, l'tzeit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu kolim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו U'shemo echad. Amen. Just a few announcements. People have been asking when the protests are. We are going to start putting them up. Usually they're on my Facebook page. You can CRCs, but we will start putting them up on our website as well. We sent out a blast to the congregation this morning that has lots of ways for people to help. Not everybody has to be out on the street, especially if you are at risk for the virus. This is about saving lives, not risking lives. And there's plenty of people who can be. So there's all kinds of things that we can be doing. And we put lots of those into our blast that we sent out this morning. And that too is going to be put on the website with messages from the rabbis and also, again, organizations that we think would be great to help and ways to serve, ways to keep pushing so that we see this time. This is an opportunity. This is really an opportunity. And we were here in Ferguson, this is different. I know we always try to say that, but it feels like we can push things further, even with the administration that we have. So, that's what I know. Oh, and next Thursday at 6:00 on Art Hill from the Art Museum going down, there will be a socially distanced mask and gloves and everything to keep everybody safe vigil that the Muslim community is hosting. It's going to be short and sweet and safe. They are very committed they're even going to have different microphones for the people who are speaking, and it's going to be all masked, and it's short, and it's really a vigil. So there'll be the 9 minutes and 48 seconds. What's that? What it was that George Floyd was under the hold of the officer's boot. So it'll really be a vigil, a prayer vigil, and I will be there, and I will be speaking, and it's something you can do if you want to do something outside that really feels safe and show solidarity with Black Lives Matter. And that's what I know. We're around. We keep doing stuff. There's services I know it's really important. Instead of 10:30 tomorrow morning for the Saturday morning service, it is at 10 because we have a bar mitzvah of an adorable kid, Jake, at 10. And then we have a bat mitzvah at 4. And then Jim and I always do Havdalah the same way. You stream through the synagogue. We do Havdalah every Saturday night at 8:00. Jim has his class Wednesday nights at 7, Inner Judaism. And then we have the big show, our salon, 8:15 every Thursday night. So we're doing our best to try to stay connected, to find ways to make sure we know what's going on with each other. And now we turn our hearts to those who have died at this time in years past with the Kaddish. So I'd like to share some names. And I actually don't have the yard site list. I have the people who have died since last year. So I will, and if you have a special yard site, please put it up so we can read that name. Of course, we're remembering, let's see. So most recently, I have, it is the yard site of Irv Satanovsky, our friend Lisa's father, who we knew well. For most recently, who died, Jan Nelson, the mother of Dan Brodsky, Marvin Koski, Fran Hyman, whose funeral we did this week, and Zoomed the Shiva, and we had people from Israel and all over the world there. Anne Barbara Schifrin, Molly Frohlichstein, Clarence Shelley, Gil Nussbaum, our dear Gil, Lillian Eichen, Lily Aviva Atkinson, who was only a baby, Shirley Sewell, our lovely Shirley, Byron Wexler, Liz's cousin, Harvey Weiss, Claire Kroll, Bonnie Levins, Aaliyah Light, Lou Osheroff, Jackie Poltman, Don Holtzman, Laverne Emanuel, Joe Sherman, Jude, Eli, Anton McCarty, another baby who lived, didn't take a breath, but lived for 3 days on life support. Carol Gerstein, Sherman Stiffelman, Judy Jones, Rita Balk, Sandy Jaffe, Ralph Schauer, Louise Mandel, Sandy Gerwich, Sandra Rosen, Linda Barton, Leonard Saxon, Paula Sue Berg, Jan Sutton, Janet Goldfarb. I don't think, did I have Betty? Oh, Betty Gershman we have, and I want to remember my friend Susan's father, Harold. What's wrong with my brain?
Debbie Siegel.
Who do we have?
Joe Sherman.
Joe Sherman. We have Debbie Siegel, Hannah Levy, Renee Gilman, Nancy Wall, Evie Goldberg, Claire Hyman, Sue Mormon, Eric Roberts, Ruth Rann, Edward Berg, who died just May 13th. Okay, I lost my place here, but I don't want to forget anybody. Betty Gershman, Alan Goldman, Tom Gilbert, Bonnie Hunman, our member John Kepler, Claire Hyman, as we said, Debbie Siegel, Monty Ross, John Isaacs, Dr. Elliot Gelman, Tom Trieger, Suzanne Glazer, Pat Dewey. Did I get everybody? I think I did. Is that everybody? And I think those are the names that I have. We pray that their memories are always a blessing. And of course, I especially want to remember Breonna Taylor today because it was would have been her 27th birthday. She was the young woman who was shot in her apartment. Julie Kaplan's mother-in-law who died last week. Yes, I think. I don't know. We'll have to get her name. Thank you. I think Julia will be grateful that you thought of her, Bobby. And of course, George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery. And, it's hard for us not to think about Mike Brown and Von Derek Myers and Anthony Lamar Smith and all of the others we know. There have been a rash of trans women of color who have also been killed, and I'm sorry that I don't have their names because we know it's really important to say the names. So I will work at getting those names as well. So for all of these good people that we have named, Susan, did I say your dad's name? Howard Weissman? I hope so. And for all the people that we hold in our hearts, we say the words of the Kaddish. The Kaddish is, I listened to a podcast this week from an Orthodox rabbi. His name was David Friedman. He was actually from Minneapolis, and I found him by accident at night. Just kind of came on my phone. And the way that he described the Kaddish was really quite beautiful. He said, it's hard for souls to leave us because we have so many attachments. And the words of the Kaddish, we say to celebrate life, to praise life. They don't mention death. They affirm life and pull us back into the world so that those that we have loved and lost can be free in the next world. And it takes a while, especially when, you've loved somebody for so deeply and maybe even for so long. So it takes a while. So that's why we say Kaddish for a year, he said, to make sure that we have done our work so that they can let go and be part of the beauty and the oneness that is the world to come. Oh, I can't believe I said Howard Weissman. I meant Howard Canfield. Thank you, Leslie. It's my brain. I'm sorry. Thank you. I know. Thank you so much. Oy. So let's get it right. Let's say the names right. And let's say the words of the Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayachon uv'yomachon uv'chayedachol Beit Israel. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv ve'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kudusha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechmata. Ta'amiran be'alma ve'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mrumav hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen.
Amen.
May the source of peace bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to those who are bereaved among us as we say, Amen.
Ve'imru, 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 amen. Ve'imru, 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 amen. Ve'imru, ve'imru, amen. Ve'imru, ve'imru, ve'imru,
Well, I hope everybody's going to have a peaceful Shabbat. Again, peace doesn't mean, it means shlemut, right? It means wholeness. It means all of the things that help us renew ourselves so that we can be whole and we can respond in holy ways to whatever challenges there are before us. So let's give each other a blessing. If you're with somebody, you can hold on to them. If you're on your own, hold on to yourself and feel the love coming from our home to yours. And so, like Jim said in his beautiful offering of the poem on this, there are six blessings in it, not just three. I love that. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. May God bless you and guard you and keep you safe. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May that light of God's love flow through us and show us grace and mercy. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom. What does it mean to give wholeness and peace? It just means that we have to be the peacemakers. So may there be more peace in your hearts, your homes, our community, and our planet, because we have shared this Kabbalat Shabbat together. Amen. And Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, little babies.
Shabbat Shalom.